This is my thesis of the emotional intelligence using this model. It's a dynamic interaction of the positive aspects of all three dimensions. I'll say it again. It's a dynamic interaction of the positive aspects of all three dimensions. So if you take a look at your relationship circle, it would be a fluid, limber, synergistic interaction between all three of these. And that's when we just recently talked about that aspirational leader, that's the leader we talked about. The one who's confident, but also is caring and is measured. And it's the dynamic interplay between all of them. I did a blog because I'm always interested in finding emotionally intelligent people. And I talked about Mandela. Now, I don't know what he was really like, but at least in his public face, he was pretty darn integrated. He was passionate about his cause. He was severely focused about what he wanted. And yet, he was very measured in how he handled things. And we'll never forget, will we, when he invited the prisoners to his inauguration, that he was very, very kind to people as well. Now, again, I don't know what he was really like, but at least on appearance, he seemed to have that integration, that blend that we're talking about here. All right. So this has much to do with the idea of synergy. Synergy comes from the Greek word that means to work together. And it has the idea of the sum is greater than the parts. So that there's something that happens that when you, as I often say, if you put garlic and tomato and olive oil together, you get something better than tomato, garlic, and olive oil. There's a synergy, if you may. It's based on two dynamics. The first is obvious, that each one will correct the other. So you're never so moving against and hateful because you always have respect for other people and you have self-control. You'll never be a doormat by being too moving toward because you have self-respect and you have perspective. And you'll never be so detached because you have a self-interest and you have an interest for the other person. So they mutually correct each other, but they do something more important than that, is they augment each other. And I talk about an emotionally intelligent person is a person who has found their relational sweet spot. It's where you're firing on all three cylinders, and we all know what that's like, don't we? Those days when we are firing on all three cylinders, and you can tell you're functioning at another level. And I love it, and I bet you do too. There's nothing more fulfilling than being in the flow when you're in that sweet spot. So if no one else benefits from us being emotionally intelligent, we will.